Live streaming is on.
All right, just live there. All right, it says we're live on YouTube as well. So there we go. We're live on YouTube, and let's see. Yeah, welcome to This Week Unloaded. Missed last week because I kind of pulled a Scotsman and slept through the start time. So that's why we didn't have a show last week. And so far tonight, joining us, we have New York Outcast, Rob D. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Hope everybody's doing okay out there.
And then next we had Squiblow jump in. How are you tonight, Squib?
Reporting in from work.
Alrighty. And then out there in the chat so far, we have joined us Mr. Buck Stanley, aka the gun-loving grandpa, who has a link. So if he wants to jump in, he's more than welcome to as well. So, have you guys seen the latest that came out, I think yesterday, on the Jacob Blake thing up there in Kenosha with the cop that shot the guy in the back 7 times when he was bending over into the SUV?
No, I don't have any info on that.
Apparently, this guy was trying to kidnap somebody from the latest information that came out. Ozzy just joined us out there too. So, how you doing, Ozzy? Yeah. See if Square. Let me see if the share screen wants to work tonight, because you never know. It's hit or miss. But yeah, can you guys see the screen? Well, you're both on your phone, I think so. I don't know if you can see it or not. But Jacob Blake was
negative for me.
All right. Well, I'll just read it anyway. It says Jacob Blake was trying to kidnap child when he was shot, officer's lawyer says. Yeah, that's from September 26th. Jacob Blake was trying to kidnap a child when he attempted to enter a vehicle after resisting arrest last month, according to the police officer who shot him. Rustin Shesky told investigators he fired his weapon at Blake, who possessed a knife, because he was trying to protect his life and prevent Blake from kidnapping the child who was in the backseat of the SUV, Shesky's attorney said. If Blake had been allowed to get in the vehicle and drive away, the question would have been, why didn't you do something? Brendan Matthews told the attorney. The attorney told CNN, and, editorial here. He's right. If that would have came out that he had a chance to stop somebody from being kidnapped, they would have been throwing a fit because he didn't stop the guy from kidnapping somebody.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have been highlighted in a totally different way if that was the case. Some cases, these officers are damned if they do and damned if they don't nowadays.
Goes on to say that Matthews and the lawyer representing Blake, Benjamin Crump, didn't respond to the paper's response for requested comment. Get back to the Shesky heard a woman nearby say, "He's got my kid, he's got my keys," shortly before Blake escaped from officers who had tried to arrest him and walked around the SUV to the driver's side door. Matthews said he was speaking about what transpired because he wanted to challenge what he described as an incomplete, inaccurate narrative that has spread widely. Matthews also said that Blake held a knife in his hand when he turned toward Shesky, who then fired his gun 7 times, striking Blake. A second officer at the scene provided a similar account to investigators, according to the lawyer. Brief, unfocused video clips showed the police shooting and some of what led up to the shooting, but the lack of body camera footage and more angles makes all of what happened unclear. The Wisconsin Department of Justice said police officers went to the home in Kenosha on August 23rd after a female caller reported that her boyfriend was present and was not supposed to be on the premises. Officers tried arresting Blake, 29, with two deploying their stun guns, but he resisted arrest and was able to free himself. Blake then walked around the van and leaned forward into the driver's seat area while holding on to Blake's shirt Shesky fired 7 times into Blake's back, investigators said. Blake admitted he had a knife in his possession, and agents recovered a knife from the driver's side floorboard. Blake had a warrant out for his arrest when officers went to the home, according to court documents obtained by the Epoch Times. The Kenosha Police Association, a police union, said in an August 28th statement that officers went to the home because Blake was attempting to steal the Keyes vehicle. Blake had a knife that officers initially didn't see. They first saw him holding the knife while they were on the passenger side of the vehicle, the union said. And in the one video, you can see when he's walking around the car, you can see the knife in his hand.
Just out of curiosity, was he the father of this child?
If this is the girlfriend's child, then yes.
Okay.
But there was a restraining order that he was not allowed near to her or the children because he had the warrant that was out for his arrest for him is sexually assaulting the mother.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it, justifies anything, but I think it makes it a little different because sometimes, some of these things, I think, depends who puts paperwork in first, and people get screwed in some cases. But obviously, I think this probably is a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, this was a legitimate case of parental kidnapping. He was, if this was his child, he was trying to kidnap his own child because he wasn't supposed to have any contact with them, and because of the charges that were against him and the restraining order as a result of those charges.
Now, not to keep beating this horse, but do we know if those accusations were proven to be true? Did he sexually assault his ex or this or that or anything like that? Or is that information that we just, we don't know, probably ain't going to know? Or is that just an accusation because she wanted a guy out of the house?
No, there were criminal charges.
Now he's pissed and wants his car he's paying for.
No, criminal charges were filed.
All right.
The warrant that was out for his arrest was because of the sexual assault charges that were filed.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sugarcoat nothing. I'm just trying to understand things a little better.
The timeline, if you want to look at that, he sexually assaulted his girlfriend, who was the mother of, I think, 3 children, I think is what it was. She, in addition to filing the police charges, also got a restraining order against him to protect her and the kids. And then this happens, and there's a kid in the back of the vehicle, and she's saying, I believe it was her, was saying that he had her keys and her kid in the car. So if that's the case, that was definitely a clear case of parental kidnapping. Because again, he's not supposed to have any contact with these kids, and he's trying to drive off with one of them after assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just, I know in my state, like, let's just state your wife was upset with you or something. You could leave for work and she could call the police and say the same thing. And basically there would be a restraining order against you. Yeah. And by the time you picked your kid up at school, you'd be going to jail later that evening. So, and probably arguing the fact, like, what the hell are you talking about? As you got, thumped and arrested. So, not saying, some people deserve more than that. So, certain types of abuse, I think, should be dealt with permanently. But that's
this doesn't seem like it's one of those he said she said things, you know what I mean? This guy was definitely not on the up and up, if you know what I mean. This was not a good guy. It's just crazy. Yep. The ones you see, the Black Lives Matter people out there throwing a fit about, always seem to have some kind of criminality about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just getting hard these days. Every time you think a story is one way, you find out 2 days later it's a little different. And then 2 days later it's a little different. And then, a week later there's another ringer. And it's like, geez, So, yeah. So, disclaimer, with all the information I have, sounds like, cops, damned if you do, if you damned if you don't. So.
Oh yeah, especially this case. I mean, like the lawyer said, if he didn't do anything to stop that guy, it's like, why didn't you stop him from kidnapping the kid? And now that he did do something, it's police brutality.
Yeah, and a high-speed pursuit would be an issue. Possibly a pursuit with a child in a car or something like that. So it's putting obviously more people at risk. The child, the passenger, I believe there was a female with him as well. So I don't know, and anybody else on the road. So it does seem wiser to address situations sooner than later. Unfortunately, I don't know, if whether I don't know what the deal is, but if you don't want problems, you probably shouldn't reach for knives or do stupid shit. So I don't know.
All the ones lately that they're throwing a fit about have one thing in common: they've all resisted arrest. Every single one of them. You don't want to get shot by the cops. Don't resist arrest. You know what I mean?
It's almost in some cases anybody with a gun, not necessarily a gun, but if you're, I don't know, it's a gamble, but especially with the knowledge people have nowadays. So maybe he assumed he would be fine and just get a big settlement and they'd be rich. I don't know what he's thinking. So
I forget, somebody kept saying, it was suicide by cop, suicide by cop. This was not a suicide by cop situation. If this were a suicide by cop situation, he would have tried stabbing one of the officers when they were trying to apprehend him in the first place. That's just my take on it. I don't see it as being a suicide by cop. Like, you see that, I mean, you get that all the time with people. When one of these things has happened lately, they always want to yell suicide by cop. That's not what suicide by cop is. Resisting arrest does not necessarily make it a suicide by cop thing. You know what I mean? It's just some loser who doesn't want to go back to the jail. Or so doped up on fentanyl and meth, they probably don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, George Floyd, for example. That guy had enough fentanyl and meth in his system to kill 3 people.
Yeah, some people like to gamble, I guess. But when you do, you don't always win.
Nope.
Betting he assumed that they'd hit him with some Narcan or something and figured it out, but instead he ended up dead. So not cool.
Well, he was dead anyway. He was just a time bomb ready to go off. As much fentanyl and meth as he had in his system, he wasn't going to make it through the day. I mean, when he was
obviously the 8 minutes of kneel on a guy's neck didn't help anything either, but still, being doped up like that, it seems like maybe he took something as he got pulled over not to get caught with it, and that shit bit him in the ass.
Yeah. Well, he was standing there. I don't know if you've seen the video where he was just standing there at the cop car and they're trying to get him in the car. He's freaking out, telling him that he couldn't breathe at that point.
Mm-hmm.
When he was
there was a couple angles I seen. Of course, slowly, long after it all happened, and it slowly rolls out. So,
yeah, the body cam footage where the cops are trying to calm him down and stuff and get him into the vehicle. The cops were like telling him, "Yeah, we'll roll down the windows, we'll put the air conditioning on." Just trying to get the guy in the car. They weren't even trying to force him to get into the car. They were trying to coax him into the car. Look, man, we'll stay with you. We'll make sure you're okay. Just go ahead and get in the car.
I don't know. What I think's kind of worse is that guy that shot himself after, getting attacked trying to defend his father out on the street. So that seemed crappy. They didn't want to press any charges on him because they thought it was legit. Now a month or something later, they want to come back and press charges on him. And guess he wasn't trying to do the jail thing and, fight for freedom. So it's a shame. I think it's fair to say that if we were on a busy street with a bunch of chaos going on, and our father or somebody like that, older family member was out there just talking to somebody and got shoved on their ass, we'd probably stand up to say something. So it's a damn shame, because in a way it could have happened to anybody.
Mm-hmm. All right, this guy, he's out there. He's getting beat on by one guy, fires a warning shot. The other guy runs off. He goes to stand up, and another guy decides, hey, you know what? This guy got a gun. I think I'm going to go beat on him. Yeah, that was a great plan. What did that idiot think was going to happen? Good Lord. You know damn well the guy's got a gun. He's already fired one warning shot, so you're going to try and jump him from behind and beat the crap out of him? Idiocy reigns.
People are nuts, man.
So you think
I don't understand why you would anyway if you were a bystander seeing what happened in that situation. So, yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the guy's already shown the propensity to, yeah, I will shoot, you know? Jesus Christ, people, are you that damn stupid? But, Squibby, you've been quiet. Got any insights you want to throw into this?
I've been around some cloud machines work. So I'm finally in an area that's not as cloud. Let's see. I mean, as far as all of these people that have been shot by the police, injured by the police, killed by the police this year, that have been high-profile cases, that have been a rally cry for certain organizations or certain individuals to commit crime in the name of fighting injustice, inequality, and police brutality, and an excuse for our politicians to use this as a way to divide the country in order to control the country. I really don't give two shits about anybody who's been injured or killed by the police, whether it was wrongful or whether or not they got what they were asking for, because of the reaction of the people claiming to represent them after the fact. In some cases, it has been the family going on national TV calling for violence, which is the first thing. I don't care if this person was a saint or they were the biggest scumbag on the earth. When the family comes onto national TV and calls for violence, I have no sympathy. And when other people who are strangers to these people decide that this is their way to, I have no sympathy. And you might say, well, that person didn't. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. The world is better off without these people from the standpoint of they're that big a scumbag. But the world isn't better off without these people because apparently they can be used as pawns, as tools, as a means to an end, because we're allowing these violent criminal reactions to these situations. Everybody's supposed to get their day in court, and life isn't fair. If you don't comply with the law, you're going to pay the price if you get caught. If you try not to get caught, if you try to get away, you're only making it worse on yourself. Even if you get your day in court, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's not a speedy trial, even though it says it's supposed to be a speedy trial. And the outcome may not necessarily reflect true justice. But when we step away from that system, despite its flaws, I have no sympathy for these people who want to be called victims. They stepped away from the system. If it's that big of an issue, let's work on fixing the system. Let's work on better relations between the public and the police. Let's work on the real reason that some of these poverty-stricken, crime-stricken areas are poverty-stricken and crime-stricken. Let's handle the real problems instead of diverting it for political gains, or diverting it to make money, or diverting it to justify your criminal activity. So I just have no sympathy for any of these people or their families. If I could, without getting without breaking the law, because obviously it would be something that I'm sure I'd be breaking 3 or 4 laws. I'd probably urinate on their tombstones.
Damn.
Yeah, that would probably get you a misdemeanor.
Or 2 or 3.
Normally,
Yeah. So the thing I see, but because I try to follow. Now, don't get me wrong. I've broken laws before out of ignorance, and who doesn't speed? I've been speeding not because I was, I guess it would be an ignorance thing in some cases too. I don't know what the speed limit. No, I can't say that anymore. My truck will tell me how fast I'm supposed to be going, so I got no excuse anymore. But sometimes there's no speed limit sign for 5 miles, and I don't know what the speed limit is. Other times I do know what it is, but I'm late for work, so I'm speeding. So laws like that, sure, I break them. And there's been some other things that later on I found out, oh, you can't do that? Oops, sorry, never knew. It's not public knowledge. Am I going to Google everything I do from here on out to find out if it's illegal? There's a certain level of, come on, have some common sense here. Whether it be the person breaking law or the person enforcing the law and passing judgment on the person who broke the law. So I'm no saint, but I'm not some damn felon, and I've been in situations where I've been treated unfairly by the justice system, by our family law system, by family law judges, and I've seen some of the, I've dealt with certain things, but I have never done any criminal stuff. And if I'm judging everybody else by me, if I'm using me, my failures and my successes as a benchmark, then I'm going to judge these people harshly. Because if I've managed to provide for my family and not break the law, and I've managed to put up with bullshit that I don't like and not end up in jail, you can do it too. I don't want to hear any of these excuses, all these crutches people want to lean on. Oh, well, I didn't get any chance. Oh, well, I grew up in a bad neighborhood. Oh, well, I'm black. Oh, well, I didn't this, I didn't that. I don't want to fucking hear it. There are plenty of people who have grown up in poor situations, not been educated, not been white, whatever you want to say, all throughout American history, who have made something out of themselves, been successful. And those are the people that we should be talking about on the news and things like that. I'm not saying we should do all positive and no negative, but they never want to talk about the person who made themselves out of nothing. They only want to talk about the fucking, feel bad for the poor criminal because the racist white cops shot him. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't make something of yourself, especially when you've got affirmative action on your side, which is the government basically giving you a hand up because you're not good enough to make it on your own, which personally, if you ask me, that's a racist policy right there. Because essentially what they're telling you, you're not good enough to make it on your own, so we're going to help you out. It's not a systematic racist issue. It's more of a community issue. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you on that. I think it's become kind of a culture shift where it was seen as a disgrace to, take something for free like that or whatever. It was seen as a shameful act that, dishonorable, we'll make our own way, and honestly, I personally feel that way, but I think there's people that need it or whatever, but there's been a lot of people that kind of have a different line of thought. Many I've come across in life that, think, hey, if it's free and it's there, you can get it. You're stupid not to. Everybody else is gonna. And then, it kind of perpetuates a cycle, and they have children and whatnot, and then you end up with generations of people just, cheating the system. I mean, crap. Years ago when I worked at a dang Jiffy Lube, we used to have a guy with a BMW that would show up every morning to read our paper and drink our free coffee. He's just working the system. He never bought nothing. There's nothing we could really do. It turned out to be a thing, and it was just normal. But there's a lot of people that do stuff like that. There's a lot of people that have food in their house but they'll still run down to the food bank. I mean, how many times have you seen somebody with a cigarette asking for a cigarette? There's a lot of people like this out there.
In case of the coffee, like what you were saying, you could put a sign up that says "Coffee for paying customers only."
Yeah, I'm just, I was a pit mechanic. They didn't care what I had to say, but I was just shocked. So I figured it was like the manager's brother or something. Like, I don't know. But it's just an example. I mean, there's people like that where you would just be shocked. Like, you really would. So
we'd have
and they see no shame in that. So
when I worked at supermarket in Pittsburgh, we'd have people come in just to read the magazines. They wouldn't buy a damn thing. They'd come in, read the magazines, and leave again. You knew every time they were coming in the store, just about they were going over, and you saw them going over to the magazine rack, what they were doing. They'd read half a magazine, put it back on the shelf, and then leave. Or pick up another magazine, do the same thing, or pick up a newspaper. We were always having to put newspapers back together because people would pick them up, read them, and just throw the sections in different places. Like, Jesus Christ, people, if you're going to read the damn things without paying for it, at least put it back together.
I think so many females would go out and buy clothes Friday to wear and return Monday that they ended up making websites for it now. So you can just join the club and get what you want and send it back when you're done.
Oh, yeah. They did studies on that. There would be people that they would go out and buy an outfit to wear to the club on Saturday, and they'd be returning it on Monday because they couldn't actually afford it, but they wanted to have the latest thing to wear out to the club on the weekend, Which you had a lot of stores stop taking returns on that stuff if there wasn't anything wrong with the outfit.
Yeah. A lot of people want, if they can get it free, they're going to get it. They're going to, if there's a way to have their cake and eat it too, that's what they're going to do.
Clover's after he said when he worked at a grocery store back in the day, he kept up good on the latest comic books. Yeah.
Values, personal respect, family honor. That's what we're lacking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those little things fix a lot of this crap. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah. When I worked
I'm old school.
And like Clover was saying, when I worked at the supermarket, we were allowed to take, like, if we wanted to take a magazine back and read it in the break room, we would take it up to the customer service desk first, and they would tear off the UPC, and then they would put it down as a lot, the loss claim department, and they would just claim it as a product loss. And we would take it to the break room and sit in the break room. That way anybody else that came back, if they wanted to read something, that would be there. You know what I mean? Now, we couldn't do that with novels or anything, but like comic books or newspapers and stuff like that, we could get away with doing that. So we'd have a stack of newspapers and comic books and like Sports Illustrated and stuff in the break room like that. Anything else either you want to add to this one?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, well, I don't know. I'm thinking here. Basically, if you work for something, you appreciate it more. You feel better about it. You feel better about yourself. You really do. So I think it's an encouragement. It's something that should be passed on to children. Should be passed on to everybody. Yes, and people get in a jam, it's nice to help people out and stuff. But I think people value life, everything more. Honestly, if you earn it.
Yeah, Clover out there does up this one too, and I've seen this one myself. People in Walmart, they get fruit or something from the deli or bakery and walk around and eat it and never pay for it. Yeah, and what really gets on my nerves is when you go to look through the strawberries and you pick up a container of strawberries and it's half empty. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out where the other half went. You know what I mean?
sometimes people get those habits from their parents. As much as parents can do to teach their kids right from wrong and give them some of the skills that they need once they leave the nest, once somebody does leave the nest, they're influenced by the people they're around. And if they make bad choices and decide to hang around the wrong kind of people, they'll pick up bad habits. And their parents, when they see that stuff, they'll shake their heads and go, what did I do wrong? So, the whole thing, it's all on the parents, it's all on the parents. It is to a certain extent, but then after that, the person is an individual making their own choices, and the parents are no longer responsible for them. I've never understood some of these cases where the person's in their 20s and they're dragging the parents into the whole thing, and I'm like, what the fuck do the parents have to do with this anymore? They're over the age of 18. But whether or not you were raised that way and you don't see nothing wrong with it, or whether or not you let the people around you influence you and you don't see anything wrong with it, it's a lack of personal accountability, it's a lack of ambition, and it's a lack of morality. People all, I want you to respect me. I want you to respect my beliefs and everything else. Well, really? Are you going to respect mine? Are you going to respect everybody else's? Well, no, it's all about me. Okay, well, it's all about you. That's great. But it can't be about all, there's a way to kind of dance around everything or integrate it or just make it work out or simply just avoid it, ignore it. I mean, whatever it takes in order that we can all find a way to get along but still be individuals. And some of these individuals that just have these bad habits, they don't see anything wrong with it, but you and I do. And I think there's always going to be people like that, unfortunately. They're just they're an anchor on society.
Yeah, I think some things with parents, like you said, a lot of things I think do come back to parents. Some things don't necessarily, because at a certain point they are their own individual. But I think the question is where they kind of instilled core values, because I think a person that kind of has the basic core values, the general, whatever you want to call it, golden rules of life or whatever, basically is going to just, even if they stumble a bit, they're still going to be better than, just a shitbag that's straight out for himself and everything. So no values or whatever. I don't know. It seems like some parents don't even try, and it seems like that seems to be the more common thing. They just, the phone and their friends raise the kids. They don't care in school. So, and that's where I think you end up with a lot of issues, because, some of the things like, how to eat, how to sit down at a table, how to talk to an adult, how to, if you're walking at a store and there's an old lady going for the door, take a second to hold the door for her. Like, it's what you're supposed to do. I don't understand, but a lot of people just don't have that type of stuff put into them, and that seems to be a problem.
Yeah, but I hear that a lot, though. Oh, your kids have electronics, therefore you don't love your kids. You're just having them be babysitted. No,
it's not all electronics. It's values. It's you don't always get what you want. You don't want to go to, you want your electronics 20 hours a week. Well, too bad. You don't always get what you want.
Yeah,
or whatever the case. You do what's in the best interest, and sometimes your child's not going to like you for it. No, you can't stay at your friends all week or all year. No, you can't eat ice cream 24/7. No, you can't wear those little pants with your ass hanging out when you're 7 years old. They're not going to like you. Too fucking bad. That's your job.
Yeah, depending on where you live, you hold that door for the old lady, you got somebody getting up in your face screaming that you're sexist.
Yep. I had that happen at a store a couple months ago. I opened the door for two ladies, and they walked in, and the second one turned around and said, "Thank you very much." And I said, no, because somewhere else I might be considered a misogynist. And the first woman turned around and started laughing because she knew how ridiculous that was. There are still people out there that have those values, that do believe, they were older like me. So maybe that's why they still have those values. And I think that some people do try to teach their kids right from wrong. They do have an uphill battle because our society, media, whether it be mainstream or social, and the public school system do a lot to tear down those values you try to put in your kids. But I also think that judging somebody else's methods by your methods might not always work. Sometimes, yes, and sometimes no. Sometimes saying you're not hard enough on your kids, and then the person who's really hard on their kids, turns out after the kids all move out, they all turn into freaking, the scum of the earth, because as soon as they got out of mom and dad's house, they were free. It depends. What works for you in your situation may not work in my situation, or vice versa. There are some things that are kind of obvious and blatant. We can all, as parents, stand around in a group and go, "Did you see that?" Yeah. So I guess it's a case by case thing as well. And even though I said I judge other people as far as their successes and failures based on the fact that I've been able to, keep myself out of jail without, I'm not like clandestinely breaking the law and I just haven't been caught yet. I can also see a time and a place where maybe that doesn't do so well, because I'm telling you what, when you get between somebody and their kids, you are asking for a problem. There are a lot of things you can be critical of, and it may not lead to a fight, but involve kids and see what happens. It's gonna get.
You're right. Relationships get torn apart, but sadly, maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. But a lot of parents are just blind. Their kid could be the little, I don't want to say something disgraceful. Their kid could be not a good kid, and the parent will swear up and down that their kid's special. That's just
that's true.
It's like parent blind. I don't know what it is. And you see that a lot. It's like an instant natural defense. But, so maybe in a conversation, you shouldn't approach it to somebody like that, but at least to yourself, consider the idea later that maybe some people could alter things. Even myself, everybody, you know what I mean? So it's not like a dead set thing, but it'd be nice if people started moving things to a more positive instead of letting your kids be a sex item at 14 and then raising out the grandkids and bailing out all their mistakes.
Yeah, you're starting to echo there, Squibby. But while we were having this discussion real quick, we had Kingpin join us. How are you tonight, Kingpin?
Yoski Woski, fellas. Good to see everybody.
And we also had Pat Hirsch join us. How are you tonight?
Well, doing pretty good. So can't complain.
All right. And then out there in the YouTube chat, we've had Bald and Curious try and camera shame us for not having our cameras on. This isn't foreign and domestic, man. So, yeah. So, I don't know how much you have caught Kingpin or Pat, but either one of you have any thing you want to say?
What was the subject? I just jumped in kind of late in on it.
Well, we started talking about the new revelations in the Jacob Blake thing, where apparently he was trying to kidnap a kid as part of what was going on there, and then we started talking to where it's now we're talking about how to bring your kids up and what. So, any of that you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I've got 4 kids of my own, and I know there's no manual on how to raise kids, and if there was, there'd probably be about 1,000 different versions out there. But I don't know. Just try to raise them right and not be little. What's the word I'm looking for? Not little holes, I guess. So I don't know. Just person can just try to do their best. I mean, just try to keep them in a certain line, try to keep them on that line.
And what about you, Kingpin?
What was the original topic again?
The original topic was Jacob Blake potentially trying to kidnap one of the children is one of the reasons why the police officer decided when he saw a knife to also shoot the guy.
Initially, I mean, once again, this is my statement, nobody's else's. Shame that cop didn't shoot a little high. Jacob Blake, disgusting human being. I don't care what happened to him.
Well, this is more in defense of the police officer.
Well, no, I mean that's cool. I mean, that ultimately a bad guy got what he deserved, just like Kyle. You know, that dirtbag that Kyle popped, he got him in the groin once. You know, the guy that was a child molester. You know, so it's really fitting that a child molester got shot between the legs. So I guess, you know, there you go.
Yeah, the article that I read, the attorney for the officer made the point that what would have happened if he wouldn't have shot? They'd be out there screaming, "Why'd you let him get away with it? Why'd you let him kidnap that kid?" You know. So, like Squib said, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't in that situation. You don't shoot the guy and he gets away with the kid, and you're a villain for letting him get away. If you do shoot him, it's police brutality and you're a racist. What's a cop supposed to do?
I understand cops are cops. They're people, they make mistakes. They're ultimately not really on our side, but they're ultimately not really against us either. But something that's really helpful to, in my opinion, to help settle your mind on that is type in on the YouTube assist Paul Harvey, a policeman, and watch that maybe 3-minute clip or whatever. I'll go find it and post it in the chat, and then start realizing, you know, when you complain and cry about a cop, like you guys are saying, you know, they got to take one of the things. I'll paraphrase it, but he says that you got to subdue the bad guy, but not hurt him. If you were late to the crime, you're inefficient. If you were early to the crime, you know, you're a dictator. But I'm going to go find it and put it in the chat. Go watch that and then rationally think about the police. I'm not super pro police because I like people getting arrested. I like the idea of the police department, the idea of, you know, law-abiding citizens being protected from criminals by the law enforcement and so on and so forth. I understand that this is the real world and it's not always as cut and dry as it should be, but go watch that video and then it helps put it in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, with this, in the article that I read too, it said that the cops saw that he had the knife when he was at the instant when he was starting to resist. You know, when they were, you know, the whole part where they were tasing and stuff, they could have by rights shot him then. If the cop waited until he realized there was a kid in that car that could have been in danger as well, he showed some restraint in waiting that long before he used his weapon. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's not like what they were initially trying to paint this as. You know what I mean? Anybody?
Yeah, they've got one of the hardest jobs out there, and I know I've said that in the past on different places and everybody around me, and you know, you're not in that situation, you're not in the heat of the moment that they were in, so just got to cut them a little slack. I mean, it's a hard enough job, and especially nowadays with the damn media trying to warp them around so damn bad and everything. And I know they're not, for the most part, they're mostly good cops. And it's just like everything else. You're going to get a couple bad apples in the basket. But I think what the cop did was completely 100% right. I mean, especially when you throw a kid into that mix. I mean, that kid can't defend itself. I mean, I think he did the right thing. That's just my take on it.
I say before you start throwing shade at the police for something that they did, take a second to remember George Kirby was a big lie. Breonna Taylor, huge lie. Jacob Blake, huge lie. Michael Brown, huge lie. Ahmaud Arbery, huge lie. The guy from the Wendy's drive-thru, I can't remember his name now. All of that, all huge lies. Giant lies that have been told to us. They said Breonna Taylor is the biggest one because it's the most recent. She was asleep in her bed, an innocent woman, and a cop shot from outside her house and killed her in cold blood because she was black. No, not even remotely close to true. Do a little bit of research and don't react off of the first scene that even the George Kirby thing. When I first saw that, I was like, whoa, that cop is out of line. And then when the next video came out and you saw that there was multiple cops holding him down and the guy still had his knee on his neck for 9 minutes, I was like, whoa, 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 that is unacceptable. No way. And then one day later, the truth started coming out.
Yeah, Breonna Taylor, she was a human shield for her boyfriend.
Yeah, but nobody wants to understand that because, and not if you don't mind, Rich, I'm going to promote a website.
Oh, go ahead.
Brandon Tatum, probably a lot of you know him. He's got 1 million subscribers plus here on YouTube. He's a really good dude in my opinion.
Don't say nothing bad in there. Let me tell you, you'll get death threats.
Go to TatumReport.com, and he's got 47 pages of stuff that nobody else in the media is covering about the Breonna Taylor case. And in those 47 pages, there's endless pages of phone calls from the prison from all these people talking about, and one of the things Rich just mentioned, that dude set Breonna Taylor up to be killed. He sent her out in the hallway and then fired behind her. So, of course, the first bullets coming back in that direction are going to hit her. He basically put her out there as a human shield. And they said that on the transcripts, not me making it up or whatever. The people involved were talking about that.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch Brandon Tatum for a while. I'm not saying I'm never going to watch him ever again, but I'm taking some time off from him because recently he decided to use Yankee Marshall's tactic, and it's real kind of shallow. So it doesn't say much for his character, despite all the good things that he does and all the good information he tries to put out there, so people can make up their minds to be objective. So he kind of disappointed me recently.
Yeah, I can agree to that. To use a famous term that we use a lot, I think he's shilling a little too hard right now.
Well, he did the exact same thing Yankee did, and I really wasn't interested in watching Yankee before Yankee did it. But after he did that, I said, yeah, I can never watch this guy again. Not because I'm emotional or whatever, because you really see the person for what they really are. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being commercial about your channel or any of your other social media crap. I mean, this is how the guy makes a living. He's not a cop anymore. He makes a living doing public speaking and YouTube stuff and things like that. And that's all good and fine, especially when he does a public service, like he puts information out there, like I said, so you can make your own informed opinion. But yeah, one of his recent videos, he really showed a lack of class.
So you guys want to get sad?
What?
Let's have it.
Squib already knows this, but he was a wet blanket earlier about this, but I kind of lucked out and bumped into a friend today and got all that 9mm for $30.
Did you
Is
hold
that
the guy
steel
knife
case?
on?
There's some steel case in here. There's some 45s there. Steel case. There's like 41 steel case there. The rest are all brass or white brass.
Seems like a pretty good deal to me. What's Squibby got a problem about that for?
I don't know. He was like, okay. I don't know. Maybe he was mad or something.
That's a good little
I'm
story.
walking out the door to go to work. Do you think I'm in a mood for anything?
670 9mm rounds for $30.
Okay.
Yeah, you were holding the guy at knife point, weren't you? Like, give me that for $30, you bastard.
That was a good deal. The guy was like, make me an offer. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how many's in there. It was in a dirty box. And so I was like, oh, I don't know, $30? He was like, yeah, sure. So sold. I paid my daughter, I think, $15 because she spent about an hour cleaning it for me, wiping it down, and sorting the steel case and whatnot. So
Yeah, even then, that's still a sweet little haul right there.
yeah, I thought so. Especially since right now, if I go to any of my local stores, the only one that has anything 9mm is $34.99 a box. of 50.
Yeah, prices on stuff are ridiculous. Gotten a little better some places, but not much.
If you want the prices to go down, you've got to stop paying it. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to keep buying the stuff. Then the prices are going to stay up. It's simple as that.
I won't buy it at that price. If I was new and only had that's the first box of ammo I've ever owned, or I might buy one or two, but there's no way I'm not paying for that kind of price. So that's just crazy.
You got an ammo seek, you're seeing a lot less of it that's popping up for $1 a round. That was absolutely ridiculous, and just about every listing on AmmoSeek was near $1 a round. They're still too high. But.
Yikes. Yep. Definitely not buying any at that price.
Yeah, you're still seeing like 50 cents a round for steel cakes. That's ridiculous. But and don't listen to Artisan Tony when he tells you to go over to GunBot, because there's nothing on GunBot. You go over there, it'll say 19 cents a round, and you click on the link, you get a 404, or you'll go to the store's webpage and it'll say page not found.
I got a little shooting contest video if you want to talk about that.
Sure, go ahead.
I mentioned it yesterday on G23's chat, but I'll put the link out there now. The YouTube channel is called Fox Firearms. I don't personally know this person. It's just a channel that I started watching recently. Go watch this video, and he kind of explains he's doing a best 6 shots contest. And what that means is you turn your camera on, put your target up, send your target out or whatever, so that way it's one clean shot. And you take your gun out, load it, take 6 shots, and the best 6 shots, he's judging it personally. So I don't know I don't know the person, whether he's going to be scrupulous or not, but it's, even if for fun, anything, it'd give you a chance to have some fun at the range and make a video. And then submit them to his channel. Let him know that you made a video. He said everyone is welcome. It's got to be pistol only, and stock sights on your pistol, meaning no red dots. If you got different, 3-dot sights or fiber optics, that's all fine and dandy, but it's got to be a standard pistol sight. So no scopes, no red dots, and the winner's going to get $100. The guy's only got 147 subscribers, 148 subscribers, so he's got a new channel, and he seems to be a pretty fair guy. He seems to be, pretty excitable and stuff like that. I don't know him personally, but go check him out. If you feel like entering the contest, go for it.
And you said before it's 25 yards?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's got to be 20 to 25 yards. So he mentions it in his video, and I know 20 yards and 25 yards are two different things, but I mean, give the guy a break. He's new. He's trying to get, attention to his channel and have some fun. So, and I'm in no way liable. If you put 6 shots through one hole of the center of your target and he doesn't pick you, then I'm not responsible for that. I'm just trying to give people something to go do that's fun and maybe help out a smaller channel.
Yeah, sounds fun and entertaining.
Yeah, we've been joined by the Tactical Chicken. How are you tonight, Gary?
I'm pretty good. How are you fellers doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Got a little more sleep earlier after your show.
Yeah, I did too. And I've been working around the house. I thought, I'm just sitting here listening to this. Might as well jump in. So.
You had a pretty packed house there for pretty much the whole show, Gary. That was live.
We did. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, since you've been out there listening, got anything you want to throw in? Any comments about what you heard us talking about?
Not really. I mean, I don't know that I could offer anything that's any smarter than what I've already heard, but I mean, you got anything specifically, or I mean, I kind of been in and out, so.
I don't know if you want to comment on the Jacob Blake thing, or you're a parent. If you want to throw in your hat on that when we were talking about, raising your kids right or anything along those lines.
Well, I totally believe you can raise your kids right. The problem is you only got so much time with them, and the school system fills them full of useless propaganda, so you're kind of countering that. And you got to have a close relationship with your kids so they know the difference between what they're hearing, and they don't take everything they hear at school as gospel. I mean, yes, some of it they should be listening to, and that's all fine, well, and good, but the morality they try to impress upon them, you got to be front and center and not let the school raise your kids. You raise your kids. If they don't know what you stand for, then it's your own fault.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. I mean, my kids. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say every kid's different. Some of them are gonna take what you say with a grain of salt and go their own way. Others are gonna listen to everything you say. It's usually a mix in between, which is really the way it should be. I mean, they're gonna have their own things they're gonna figure out in life, but they definitely need to know where you're coming from and why.
Yeah, I'm coming to that point right now where my oldest wants to leave the house. I don't think it's a good idea, but he's a grown man. He can do what he wants. But he needs to understand that his choices have consequences. It's not as simple as, hey, I screwed up, fix this problem for me. Move out of my house. And, tough love is not an easy thing to do. And all the things that I've done, or my wife and I have done, to try to instill values in him, we've seen some of that come out since he graduated high school. But we also know once he gets out into the world and starts doing his own thing, he's going to be around other people. He's going to have other influences. He's going to make the right girl who could be the wrong girl. And he might not, exercise those values. And at a certain point, I got to go, I did the best I could with what I had, because I know that there are things I've done with my life that my parents probably wouldn't approve of, probably would have said, why would you do that? Or, I'm not a carbon copy, and I don't expect my sons to be carbon copies either. I've given you this. I've given you the why. I've led by example. Now it's up to you to do that, because one day you're going to have kids and you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to keep an eye on them. You're going to have to be straight with them, and you're going to have to set the example. So at that point, I guess I'm just hoping that my older son makes as many good choices as he can. I know he's going to make some bad choices. I know he's going to have some failures and some setbacks, and it's not going to be easy for me to sit back and watch it happen. But that's how we learn sometimes. And it's really tough sometimes to be the parent when you have to do the tough love thing.
Yeah, and you brought up explaining the why. When you tell your kid not to do something, they ask, well, why? Don't give them the because I said so routine. Explain to them why it's wrong to do what you told them not to do.
Now, see, that's one major difference between me and my parents. I grew up with the whole because I said so. So when it became my turn, I said, I don't want that. What worked on me? What didn't work on me? Now, the fact that my kids are not carbon copies of me, using myself as a benchmark, has not always worked well. It's not always worked well, but I have tried to do the whole, I'm going to take the time to explain why, and I'm not going to look at it as I'm negotiating with kids or that they're disrespecting my authority, because I have to explain. How else are they going to learn? And I think that maybe some parents look at it as it's too much trouble, or it's disrespectful to question them or something. And it's like, no, try it. Try it if you've never done it. See if you get any results.
Yeah. Now, when they come at you again with why, when you tell them not to do the same thing that you already explained to them why they're not supposed to do it, look and say, "What did I tell you the last time when you did it?" Make sure it's sinking in.
Yeah, I agree with that. At a certain age, I mean, as they get a little older, I think, you should be more straight with them. I think a lot of people should, speak to them like like little people or like adults, young adults or whatever. But I know, and yeah, some cases I know I've stated I don't want to, basically I didn't raise you to be a dumbass. So if you're going to be a dumbass, don't expect me to clean up your messes. And I'm not, I really don't have much to do with you. So, so if you, want a family network and all this type of stuff, don't grow up and be a dumbass. So I don't have dumbass friends. I don't hang out with dumbass family members. Just because you're my kid doesn't mean I have to reduce myself to deal with a dumbass. So, but I'm harsh.
On it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, Giz, please.
Well, what I was going to say is, I mean, yeah, when they go out on their own, they're on their own, and I totally get that. But there are going to be times, I know because both my kids are in their 30s, occasionally they're going to get a hold of you and say, okay, I've ran into this problem. What do you think I should do? And don't be afraid to go ahead and jump in and give advice if they ask. I mean, that's just, falling back on experience and stuff like that. Occasionally, they're going to need a little bit of help, and you can help them as far as, but definitely advice. Well, I don't think I'd buy that, or I don't think I'd move into this house versus that house. In the end, it's your decision, but, they will come back from time to time asking advice, especially when they find out they're not quite as smart on their own as they thought they were, and they run into an issue. And I wouldn't say, well, leave me alone. You left my house. I'm not going to talk to you no more. You can't be that way. I mean, at a certain point, if they rely on you for everything, then yeah. But I've never yet to have that happen.
Try to tell people not to make certain mistakes, and they make them anyway. You made your bed. That's life. I kind of had the same thing. If I go be a dumbass and end up in jail, don't call home expecting to get bailed out or looking for help. And so therefore, I never beat my girlfriends or got DWIs or did anything stupid.
Going along with what Gary was saying, that's kind of where the angle I was going to go toward is. I don't. This is a situation where I don't have kids, and I don't know what it's like to tell a kid not to do something and then watch it drive away, hoping that it listened. But I am from the other side, and you got to understand your parents are going to be your parents your entire life. I don't care if you're 15, if you're 50, or you're 75. If your mom or your dad are alive, they're still your parents. And that's one of the things that my brother has a problem with. He's a grown man. He's got his own family. He's got his own job. He's got his own kids that are almost grown men. And when he comes around and starts talking about, these dreams that he's got, or talking about this dumb thing that he did, and my dad says, well, I'm your dad, da-da-da, you shouldn't have done the dumb thing, or this is what you should have done. My brother gets all huffed and puffed about it because my dad's still being his father, still saying, like Gary was saying, hey, you screwed up. Here's how you don't screw up next time. And my brother's like, oh, I'm a grown man. I don't need that. So you gotta remember your parents are always going to be your parents. So when you come around and say you did something stupid, be expecting your parents to say, I told you not to do stupid stuff.
And that's kind of what I was talking about. My older son understands that he's always able to communicate with us, whether he lives in our house or he doesn't live in our house, that he can always talk to us about stuff. And he has come to us about some stuff in the, little bit more than a year since he's graduated high school. And it's been kind of like absolutely unexpected. It's profound. And I talk to him like a man now. And I'd let him know that's the way you're getting treated from here on out. But the thing is, a lot of kids, you'll say, don't get involved in this. And they get involved in this, and then they get in trouble, and they call you from jail. Like what Rob was saying. I'm not bailing you out. You called the wrong number. You get one phone call, and you just wasted it. I'm not hiring a lawyer to bail you out because you did something I did not raise you to do. Or if I say, don't do this with your money, do this with your money, because if you do this with your money, you're going to regret it, and here's why. And they go, I don't care, it's my money. Okay, it is your money, and you're a grown man now, you can do it. And then when they do that, they go, yeah, I got nothing to show for it. Here, I need money. I'm not giving you the money. And that's tough love.
Exactly.
There are some parents that aren't like that. There's like every single time, oh, well, here, oh, you just blew the motor on that car I told you not to buy? Yeah, here's $8,000 to go ahead and put a new motor in it. Oh, you can't make your rent this month? All right, here's $1,200. Oh, you can't make it next month? Here's another $1,200. Oh, your roommate screwed you over? Yeah, I told you not to have those roommates, but you know what? I'll just pay their part of the rent too. No, I'm not that parent. And that's not an easy thing to do because when you're young, you make mistakes. And you do kind of go back to mom and dad and go, Mom, Dad, could I have some money? At a certain point, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and go, I'm a little bit too old to be going back to mommy. I know people older than me that still go to their mom and dad when their car breaks. It's like, you've got to be kidding me, right? You're old enough to have grandchildren. What the hell are you doing? But some people do that. And for some people, they might go, well, it's all about money with you. No. It's not the point. The money is the easy thing. The thing is this something that you can live with and you can find a way to fix on your own, whether it be saving up enough money, whether it be applying for a loan and being obligated to pay it back, whether it be walking to work instead of driving your car or whatever it is, to teach you a lesson that I told you don't buy that car. I told you not to move into that apartment. I told you not to take this job. I told you why. I didn't just go because I said so. And you said, I'm a grown man, I can do what I want. You're right. And you're also a grown man. You can pay the consequences. My son knows that if he moves out like he's planning to do, that he can come back to live with us under certain circumstances. Like he ain't bringing no girlfriend with him or something like that. But he's also confided in me that he doesn't want to have a situation where he moves out of the house and moves back in because he'd be embarrassed. The fact that he'd be embarrassed tells me he's already, made some of those points towards actually manning up, because if you're not embarrassed that you left home when you didn't need to, it's not like my home is just this hellhole to live in. He just wants his own place. He wants to prove that he can do it to everybody. I'm like, you ain't got to prove nothing right now. If he fails, he comes back
to bring the ladies home.
Yeah, that may be it. I talked to him about that too, but he assures me that ain't happening. And that's what I mean about the whole, whatever. And then 6 months from now, oh, she's the one, and we're going to move in together. Oh, shit, here we, I told you. And then, it's like, I came home one day and all my shit was missing. Yeah, I guess you're going to be buying yourself new shit because some women do that. But I thought she was the one. Dude, son, everybody thought she was the one. All right. But just because we raised you right doesn't mean her parents raised her right. So what I'm saying, though, is it's as tough as it is when they're in your house and they're younger and they don't understand. And you've got to teach them consequences and values, and you've got to fight the school system and social media and all the other garbage you have to fight in order to try to. Once they leave, it's even worse. It's even worse. And if you're just going to run out there with your checkbook every time they cry, they aren't going to learn a damn thing, and they're never going to grow up. And how are they going to raise kids of their own after you're long dead?
How are they going to learn to deal with any other problem at work, a problem, relationships, problem with friends, they always get bailed out. It's basically creating a junkie without the drugs. It's just a bigger habit because it's survival.
Yeah, Clover out there, he said he has one that spent 5 years in college for accounting and business. He's done her taxes every freaking year. Him, a high school dropout. Explain that one. Too complex for. Okay, Clover, be honest now. AOC's your daughter, isn't she? Come on.
That's cold. One of the most dangerous phrases that you can let fall from your lips is "treat me like an adult." And if I want to put a magnifying glass on that, the most dangerous phrase maybe that you can use flippantly is "treat me like a man." Because you're going to run into a man that's going to treat you like a man. And it's not going to be your brother or your daddy or your cousin, somebody who's going to softly treat you like a man. My nephew swore up and down forever. He was my brother's oldest son. Treat me like a man. Treat me like a man. So one day my brother treated him like a man and charged him rent and didn't have any dinner waiting for him when he came home and all these other little tiny things, and started treating him like a man, and he hated it. Then one day he found out he wanted somebody to treat him like a man out in public, and this grown stranger almost ripped his head off. Thankfully, he didn't hurt him, but he put the fear of God in him. So you got to be really careful when you want to be treated like an adult. And if you're a male, be very cautious of demanding to be treated like a man. because some man will come along and treat you like a man.
And just because you exercise tough love doesn't mean you're a heartless bastard and you don't love your kids. It's just, for some people, they understand that form of parenting works. Now, people with daughters may not understand that, because with daughters, I know guys are really soft with all that crap. I don't have any daughters, all right? So I don't know nothing about raising daughters, all right? But with sons, I'm as tough on my sons as my dad was on me, and I'm as tough on my sons as I think they need in order to make them, well, I guess, able to cope with life. And somebody else might look at what I do and they may say, oh, you're this, you're that. Okay, fine. All right. But my son's the one that's going to be pulling over on the side of the road to change your son's tire because you didn't teach him how to do that shit.
Now, Clover said, no, his daughter is a gun-loving, freedom-loving, hard-working chick. Just the taxes blow her mind for some reason. She can work math and numbers like a wizard, but taxes, not so much. Man, there are accountants out there whose job is to be a tax preparer, and they don't know how to prepare people's taxes properly. Before we moved down here, we went to one H&R Block in the Pittsburgh area, and that guy had our taxes so screwed up it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, I've been there, done that at H&R Block.
Told you those dials weren't deductible.
What did you say, New York? I just want to catch that again.
He said, I told you those dolls weren't deductible.
That's what I thought he said. That's funny.
Sorry, just trying to lighten up.
Speaking about that kind of stuff, who here knows who Senator John Kennedy is? Anybody?
Excuse me.
I'm familiar. Recently informed.
I'm going to do my best impersonation. Nancy Pelosi seems like a kind of person who ate Tide Pods.
Yep, that's him. Well, today he was on Fox News and he told another senator to sell crazy somewhere else. I'm really starting to like this guy.
That dude is hilarious, man. I don't know much about his record because I've only been interested in understanding who he is this maybe 2020, but he's funny, man.
Oh yeah, he is. The Pelosi thing, I think that was a question the reporter asked him on the impeachment or something, wasn't it? With Pelosi saying she was going to impeach Trump for appointing a Supreme Court justice, isn't that what the context was there?
I think so. I'm pretty sure, but man, it's great. It's on the YouTube, so it's definitely worth watching. This guy say Nancy Pelosi ate Tide Pods. Did you see where Big Money Jim Cramer called her Crazy Nancy right to her face?
Yes,
I did. That was funny. And then he was like, I would never do that. And she's like, but you did.
Yeah, you did.
All right, okay. Did Jerry Nadler
like, just once?
Did Jerry Nadler poop himself, or did he not? Did you see the clip where Jerry Nadler was waddling off stage, looking like he was pinching one?
Well, it's quite possible.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, my favorite one of Jerry Nadler being questioned by Fleckus and says, "Oh, Antifa's just a myth." Really, Jerry?
Wow, some of those people are so removed from reality, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean, he looks Austin Fleckus right in the face and like, that's a myth. Antifa's a myth. Jesus Christ, dude. This was right around the time where the guy shot the what was it? The prayer guy, Patriot Prayer. Shot that guy in Portland, and Fleckus was asking Nadler about it because he cornered him in D.C. or somewhere, and he's like, "Oh, that's a myth." After the guy came out and said he's 100% Antifa, but Antifa's just a myth.
Got a question here. Pat, where you been, man?
Preparing for harvest and harvesting.
Okay. Now I believe you went public with that story we were speaking about a while ago.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Because
There's one question I forgot to ask you.
Okay, shoot.
What are you growing?
What do I grow on the farm or what?
Mm-hmm.
Milo, soybeans, corn, alfalfa, and oats and rye.
Okay.
You
I
grow
was just
Milo
wondering if
here?
there was any correlation to this crazy guy coming to your place. So
He grows Milo.
I wonder
so
what kind of farm that is. So
yeah. He grows
No,
Milo,
it's not legal here. Not yet.
Eventually.
Because I keep telling my dad, I will. I said as soon as it becomes legal, I said we're switching crops.
Uh-huh. But so, you're where the gay conservative Greek guys come from. Then, if you're growing Milo, so you're at fault.
I'd never heard that one before.
You don't know who Milo is?
Milo Yiannopoulos. His name's Milo Yiannopoulos.
That guy. Okay, yeah. Gosh dang it! I've been gotten twice tonight already. No, the actual
Milo
crop.
now. It's Pat.
Crop. It's the actual crop, not that guy.
I'd like to take just a second to do a little bit of promotion here. It's been requested out in the chat by our good friend Ozzy Osbourne to give CloverTac a shout out. CloverTac has hit over 1 million views on YouTube. So congratulations, CloverTac. That is a phenomenal feat. And let's also not forget, spread the word about getting Gizzard Gary to 1,000 subs. And congratulations for getting invited to SHOT Show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Congratulations. Just for the record, I've also hit 20 views, so thank you.
Congratulations.
Let's start somewhere, Rob.
That's right.
Woohoo! Totally setting benchmarks all the time.
And the next link that I'm going to pop in the chat is Bald and Curious's 1911 raffle giveaway. So make sure you go check that out too.
Yeah, is he still out there?
I don't know. Ask him.
Well, if he's out there, I'm sure he can answer. But, I didn't know. I didn't see him lately. I was wondering if anybody else saw if he was still out there or not.
Oh, and to kind of go over, I'll give you a little update on that, by the way, Rob, and everybody sitting in the panel. Couple weeks after that happened to me, the dude somehow got bailed out. His mom wound up bailing him out, and he stole a truck from the neighbor down the road about 5-6 miles and went all the way to Missouri to apparently to his ex-wife's house. And right before they got there, the cops pulled him over, and the truck had OnStar, and they shut it down before he got to his ex-wife's house. And now he's in Missouri on different charges. So, so yeah, he's not getting out for a while.
He sounds like a real winner.
This is exactly why you don't bail him out.
Yeah, that was his mom. So I didn't figure she doesn't have 2 pennies to press together. So I'm really surprised she had the money to bail him out. So it was a deal. But yeah, I won't be seeing him forever.
Yeah, probably put the house up or something along those lines.
It's even sadder that she, took upon the hardship to bail him out under the circumstance. So,
You got to wonder, did she have a son? Did I raise you to be like this? Son, do you ever recall me going to jail? That conversation probably never happened. That's poor parenting.
Yep.
Well, he was definitely into something because I did talk to the county attorney here in Webster County about it. And yeah, he had to go have a psych eval and all that stuff. And yeah, and now he's comfortably sitting in a jail in Missouri somewhere around Joplin area.
Yeah, I knew somebody who went and bailed their kid out. They put their house up, and the kid skipped bail, and they ended up losing the house.
So who's paying for your truck, man?
What's that? Were you talking to me, Rob?
Yep, I said, who's paying for your truck? Yeah, they got demolition derbied in your driveway. Who's paying for that? And you said you had a plow on that, right? So I don't know if that messed that up or anything else too. I mean,
No. What happened? First truck he tried to play demolition derby with was my '76 Chevy Blazer with a grill guard and a winch out front on it, and it put some paint on there, but didn't hurt. It shoved the truck back about 3 foot. Thank God it was in gear, or else it would have been in the damn house. But it's my actual farm truck. When he was backing up, when I was trying to get a plate number off of the pickup because I didn't know who it was at the time, and cracked the actual bumper cover on it. It's just a little 2004 Nissan Frontier, and about $800 worth of damage on the front end of that one. I only got to looking up part, and that's if I do it myself. But yeah,
this guy's got money to get bailed out.
Well, that was his mom's money, so.
Yeah, they always get money when they're behind bars.
Yeah, meth is a hell of a drug, man.
Well, funny you should say that. I think that's what the county attorney was hinting that he was on.
Yeah, I know we talked about that before. That's why I said it.
Yep. But yeah, I got some charges turned around, and they tried to say something, and I straightened them out on that about the felony on my truck. And I said, I really didn't do anything to that one, but I said I would really like to, if he's got any money, I said I'd really like to have my dad's pickup fixed, not the actual farm truck, instead of my Blazer, because it didn't do anything to it. So, but I doubt I'll ever get any money out of him. So he's so far down the rabbit hole that, yeah, it not good.
It costs you money, so now you're at a hardship. The mom's at a hardship, and now the taxpayers are paying for his ass.
Yep,
gotta love
exactly. Right. But anyway, that's the current situation on that deal. So.
Alrighty. So you got a meth head who, does stupid things continuously. Sounds about right. So anybody got anything they want to talk about? Now we know Pat just talked about the criminal thing, but anything else anybody else wants to talk about?
Any of you guys know much about stag arms besides squib?
I know they exist.
Not excluding squib, but just out of curiosity, I'm trying to get all the information I can on the company.
No, I don't know too much about them.
Yeah, didn't they get in trouble a couple years ago for something? But other than that, they seem like the products seem like they're decent enough from what I've heard.
What do they make, Rob? As far as guns and stuff like that?
ARs.
Yeah, they're an AR company.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Has anybody got any stag arms that's shot?
I have not and do not, so I don't know.
Got one. I haven't taken it out yet, though. Waiting on mags. It was one of them consignment sale deals and didn't come with a mag, so I'm a little scared, but we'll see.
Got a pretty decent barrel and stuff on it then, as far as
yeah, it's
weight?
chrome lined. supposedly it's a newer barrel, so had to be to fit New York State from what the seller was telling me. So you had to swap the barrel and the stock around. So yeah, but that's why I'm trying to figure out any information on it. I talked to Squibb a little bit about it. He gave me quite a bit of history. So, but I just didn't know if anybody else had any hands-on experience or anything like that.
Yeah, can't help you there, Rob. I haven't had my hands on one. So. Apparently, nobody else has either except for Squibb. So.
You could probably contact Travis P11 and ask him what he knows about it. I mean, I don't know that he's got experience with them, but I know he knows a lot of stuff.
Travis is the guru, huh?
Travis knows a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
Give that a try.
Oh, did you? You guys have probably already caught it, but his range video with that Jimenez 22, that was absolutely friggin' hilarious. First shot and everything flies to hell.
Yeah, then he goes and shoots the fence dad's T3C, and the mag catch falls out.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
I have not caught that video yet. Oof.
I don't know if the fence dad had a video of it, but he was telling us about it. That he was like, Travis broke my G3C, fired it, and the mag catch fell out.
I just want to add, I did get a mag. I just didn't get it when I got the firearm. So it's being sent to me because the seller's in another state. So because I did mention previously when I spoke to Squibb that I also got a mag with it. I don't want it to sound conflicting now. So technically, yes, but it hasn't arrived yet. So along with some others I ordered.
Nighthawk says Stag Arms likes to steal other people's designs and then act innocent when they get sued. That might be what I was thinking of earlier when I said that they got in trouble a couple of years ago. And Snob's out there under his own name. He's not stealing, looking over Stacy's shoulder. And usually that's what he does on this show. Stacy will jump in, and next thing you know, Snob's on the show.
And just mentioning, Mr. Snob is getting darn close to 5,000 subs out there.
He suckered 5,000 people into watching his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of gullible people out there.
It must be that Altor video.
I just don't understand why I can't find them.
You haven't made an Altor video.
That's true. I did go by their booth at SHOT last year, but I didn't do video. I should have.
You got to get a drone. It almost hits you. It doesn't, but it almost hits you when you're shooting.
Now, he says he may hit it by midnight. Is that midnight on the clock or midnight ranges show?
I'm willing to pay the person flying that drone $5 to peg him one time.
That's his son. His son drives that drone.
$10.
Stacy says, ew, so tired of hearing about his subs, and then he says, I buy my subs at Subway.
So he's on the Hank Strange plan.
No, I was going to say, you don't go to the same place as Hank Strange. Well, you beat me to it, Rob.
How does that really work? How do you buy subscribers, especially nowadays?
I guess there's just a site you can go to. You can just Google search buy subs or something like that. So apparently,
I can answer that question. You have a contest where somebody shoots a target at 20 to 25 yards with iron sights only with a handgun, and then the winner gets $100. That's how you buy subs.
It's not very effective because that dude only has 140 subs. Nobody ever heard about him until I started saying. I mean, I get your point.
And that's exactly how he thinks he's going to get himself big overnight.
Yeah, but going back, I'm talking about like what Rob was talking about, not cheap stuff. Like, because every single person on YouTube's guilty of that if they've ever done a giveaway. You know, I'm talking about like the bots or whatever. How like buying subscribers, not. You know,
you can be boosted. I think you got to pay somebody to do that for. That's where they suggest to recommend your videos over somebody else's if you pay. I'm not sure exactly how. I know it costs you money. It's called getting boosted.
There are, I hear, clandestine sites, quote unquote, out there on the interwebs that will guarantee you so many subs, and somehow or another, with the use of bots or something like that, they create all these bogus YouTube accounts and subscribe them to you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I can tell you, I've gotten some subs that wanted a sub for sub, and I don't do that. And I've gotten some subs from overseas, let's be YouTube friends. And it's like, that's not a legitimate sub. And I've had some people sub to my channel after watching one video. One video? Are you kidding me? Dude, don't judge my channel on one video. You might think my channel sucks. It probably does for most people. All right. Some of that stuff is you got to look through it. At the end of the day, some people, all they care about are numbers. So they don't care if that sub is a bot, or if that sub is expecting something in return, or if that sub is a troll, or whatever it is, it's a sub. But if the number of subs I had reflected how many people actually even want to watch my videos, I'd probably have about 10 subs. And not that I have a large amount, I don't, and I know exactly why. And if I wanted to get a whole bunch of subs, I could do what it takes to get all, but I just don't want to go that way with it. But every time I see you've got a new subscriber and I look into it, I'm going, where's the thing that makes me unsubscribe from me?
So are the rumors true? You do have a pair of Daisy Dukes?
Huh?
Yeah, to get those subs if you really wanted to.
No, just do boring ass range videos and all the other crap everybody else. Let me do everything that everybody else does, and I'll have the same numbers they do. I just don't want to do that crap. Every now and then I'll do it, and yeah, I do the coffee reviews because of Travis and stuff like that. But some of the other stuff, it's like, yeah, I could have this many subs too if I did this and this and this and this and this. But I don't want nothing wrong with it. That's their channel, model. Or they're going, well, this made so-and-so big, so I'll just do what they're doing because I want to be big too. I just don't do that stuff. Yeah, I suppose if I was a chick, yeah, I'd probably be wearing skimpy clothes because that gets you a hell of a lot of subs. I ain't jealous. I'm comfortable in my masculinity, but no, I don't have any Daisy Dukes, Rob. I'm a little bit too ugly to show off.
All right, I'd hope not, but you never know these days. Thought I'd check. Yeah, I damn sure don't want to stay at your house and see you come out in a pair of Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Daisy Dukes, but he does have the American Gun Chick bullet catcher bib.
Yeah, it's not good to burn the goods.
Nope.
Does she still make videos?
I don't know. Ask Rocall.
That's the only reason I know who she is because I seen that hot chick in his background, and I asked him who it was, and when he told me who it was, I looked her up and watched, I think, 2 of her videos, but I haven't heard anybody say anything about her for a long time.
Did you see the music video?
That's one of the videos that I saw. Yeah,
I thought it was all right.
Pop says, I'm about to try wearing some skimpy clothes, but I'm afraid it might cost me subs. Like all of them. It's a good possibility. It might cost you some Patreon supporters too there, Snob. I don't recommend it. I mean, there's some people in this chat that have already seen you topless, and that was bad enough.
We gotta have the Squibload makeup channel.
I will say one thing: can anybody flush a toilet quite like Squib does now?
Bow whoosh.
Yep, that got me no new subs. That got me criticism. That got a lot of trolling and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm having fun making these videos. Then I get somebody, yeah, I watched it. I don't understand. Did you watch any of No. Like, you go Democrat, don't you?
Nicely done, Rob. I like your yard sign video. That one was nice.
Yeah, a day or two later, a guy stopped in front of my house. When I was on the phone with you, Rob. And I wanted to go, hey, I'm on the phone with Outcast here. But he wanted to
doesn't he have any respect?
Yeah, it's like, I'm conducting business. Oh, you like the sign? Oh, yeah, thanks. Whatever. Yeah. See, that's just it. The videos like that don't get views, and that's fine. I don't care. I don't have to stress out going, oh my goodness, I didn't gain enough subscribers this week. Oh my goodness, I lost subscribers this week. As funny as you hear somebody, they'll go, I don't care if I lose any subscribers, but I sure as hell do care if I lose any patrons. Whatever. It's a bunch of BS.
Yes. Knob has a message for you up there, Rob. He said, good job. You used the big boy potty.
Yay!
Yay!
He's all grown up now.
He's ready to use them pull-ups instead of a diaper.
I'm a big kid now.
I've got a great idea. Let's start talking bad about Midnight. I mean, that's usually something we can fall back on. Everybody agrees.
Does he live near Harrisburg?
Yes.
Give me a second. I'll give you his exact address.
You have to do that. I was just curious, though. I don't know if he's working Monday evening, but maybe we could get together or something.
No, email him. You got his email address, right? Email him, let you know you're going to be up.
I think so. Yeah, I was debating going a day earlier and just being spoiled and getting a hotel with a hot tub and chilling, and then going in a rally and going home.
Yeah,
hotel with a hot man. I'm rubbing off on you here.
No, I'm paying cash, but I'm paying cash.
Oh man!
So you're looking forward to getting to a hotel room with a hot tub with Midnight?
No, spending money.
But we might hang out or go to dinner or something.
Yeah, Rob don't ever
prior
spend
to
any
the
money
hot
on
tub
himself.
stuff.
It's like a hotel room. Shit, I'll sleep in the car.
Yeah, just email him.
Yeah, and I've been stuck at home, man. I usually do something, but this year sucked.
Yeah, just email him, and he'll exchange phone numbers with you probably, and then he'll give you the directions and tell you the name of the restaurant and everything, because he doesn't want anybody saying it on the internet.
Yeah, understandable.
But it's worth going to. The food's good.
Well, I don't know if I want him cooking for me. I was thinking we'd go somewhere else and criticize that cook.
He might be working Monday.
I mean, he's cool. I don't know if he's that cool.
You could go with him to that place he took us to before. He screwed up Kingpin's burger. Oh my goodness!
You want to see trophy of the week? Yo, boy.
I called it too. Before, as soon as I gave the guy my order, I told everybody, I said, they're going to mess my food up. And bam.
Did you see her walk all the way around the table and try to hand it off to somebody else?
Yep. And then I called it again. I said she's going to take it back into the kitchen. She's going to wipe the mayonnaise off it, or maybe put another bun on top and bring it back. Bam. Did it again.
At least they got your order right at that Burger King.
Well, y'all wonder why I'm so skinny. I can't get my food ordered properly. It's super, super hard. No mayonnaise.
Yeah, but see, mayonnaise, if you had mayonnaise on everything, it'd fatten you up.
Well, he lives on napkins from when they get his orders wrong. That's why he gets all those damn napkins. That's his rations. Emergency
So if the
rations.
napkins are made of wood pulp, that's got fiber, which keeps you regular, which, yeah, I guess he can't keep the weight on.
You didn't see me rushing out to the store to get toilet paper.
And Stacy's finally jumped in here. How are you tonight?
Good. You should ask Kingpin about the video that Snob sent him the other day.
I actually told my parents about that video today, and my mom started dying laughing.
You should have showed her the video.
Well, Snob got me good. He sent me a link through text message to this video of I think his name's Johnny B. Good, or Johnny B. The gun guy from YouTube, Johnny something.
Yeah, Johnny B.
Gun Drama Johnny?
Gun Drama Johnny.
He was ranting about subscribers and comments and this and that and the third, kind of just joking around. He didn't seem like he was being serious. Looked like he was having some fun. And then at the end, he started talking about sandwiches. And he brought out, I guess it was Hellman's mayonnaise, and was complaining, Duke's mayonnaise is crap and Hellman's is the real deal. And then right as he was like, and I'm going to prove it, I covered the screen on my phone because I knew it was about to happen. This guy took and opened the mayonnaise jar and squeezed a giant mouthful of mayonnaise into his mouth.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
That's disgusting.
I almost
It's
saw
a certain type of individual, something like that.
I almost saw it. So kudos to Snob. You got me on that one. But thankfully, I reacted in time and covered the screen and didn't actually have to see it.
No, but the guy, Johnny, he's really cool. We met him the first NRA we went to in Dallas before we started all the YouTube stuff. And he's just awesome. He is just an awesome, awesome person. He's funny and he's just wild and he's out there. I love him. He's so cool.
Yeah, he seemed all right when he first started, I think. I don't know. Lately, I've fallen off. I don't pay much attention anymore or anything like that. So, forgot what happened, but something happened where it just kind of was like, I don't know, he got a little funky on me. But, and then again, it seems like, his job just to make fun of people. So, it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess it's funny for a minute, but I don't know. Everybody's got different tastes, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just glad he brought back the Drama Llama. While there, he wasn't using Drama Llama.
Sometimes it seems like he takes himself a little too seriously. And lately, a lot of his stuff's been political. It's lost a lot of the fun aspect it used to have. When he lets himself go like that, he's actually real funny.
Yeah, the Spicy Friday show is usually more like the old fun Johnny. But then he had, like Gary said, he's been putting out a lot more of the political stuff too as things are going cuckoo bananas.
Now, Gary, do you think it's because he's taking his channel in a different direction, or he's trying to reinvent his channel, or
He's constantly reinventing his channel. I don't think he's happy with any one format. He'll change the name, change the channel a little bit. I don't know if he's just the kind of guy who gets bored, wants to change things up every once in a while. I mean, it's his channel. He's got tons of subs, so he must know what he's doing. But
I've seen some channels that have had, I thought, some pretty good stuff, and then they'll change their format, or they'll change the kinds of videos they'll do, or they're constantly changing their name and things like that. And, I mean, every channel goes through transitions where they change the avatar, or maybe they do change the name, or maybe they do decide to take it another direction. But it just seems like a little bipolar sometimes. And when a channel does that, sometimes I have trouble watching. I mean, if they start off kind of secular, all right, I get it. But when they're trying this, they're throwing everything at the, seeing if it sticks, and if it don't, all right, throw the. But I mean, like you said, he's got a lot of subs, so it must work. I guess it works for some people.
What does he do? Live shows, or does he put right? Because I've only seen him maybe with the video Snob sent me 3 times.
I think it's primary. He's got a daily show. It's kind of like just a spotlight of him. He'll play clips of other people and stuff, but he does a daily show. Supposedly, the guy's fairly highly educated. I can't remember if he was a teacher. I believe he was a teacher or something like that. He's got a fairly decent college degree. He just kind of dumbs it up a little bit for the YouTubes, but actually a highly intelligent guy.
I've heard him on the Gun Collective on the panel, and there'll be sometimes where I strongly disagree with him, and other times I agree with him. That's my only experience seeing him is just as a panelist. I kind of thought they brought him in to try to bring in a certain demographic, or they brought him in like a comic relief. But then when he started saying some serious stuff, I said, okay, I guess I read this guy all wrong. They really do value his opinion. This isn't about trying to build the audience as much as trying not to make it so much of an echo chamber.
Yeah, one of the things I think that's changed his channel too is he started working with Pew Pew Tactical. He does some of their reviews and stuff too. And right around that time's when he started doing more of the serious political stuff on his channel too. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it.
Yeah, Gun Snob says he was a professor. That's right.
Kind of makes me wonder what he was a professor in.
Yeah, and if he was any good or not. But I guess, that's a question we'll probably never get true answers to. So, unfortunately, just because you got a degree nowadays doesn't really mean much to me. I guess it would in some cases, but it's more on practicing who actually does stuff. The people that are on the job daily, they tend to know the jobs better. But so who knows?
Yeah, degree doesn't guarantee you'll get a job or a good job, but it does help when you're applying for the job. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're more qualified or smarter or wiser than somebody without a degree. I think some people think they have to go to college in order to be successful, and it does make it easier to get an easier job. If you want a job where you wear nice clothes, work 9 to 5, and sit in air conditioning, you're probably going to have to go to college. But if you're okay with, doing something that you might like or have some interest in, or just doing what it takes to pay the bills, or doing what it takes to live in the place you want to live or something like that, you don't necessarily need a college degree for that. But I think that's how some people measure their success. And I think that's part of the reason why you've got all these people crying for free college.
Yeah, and a lot of degrees out there, in my opinion, are worthless. Not that my opinion is valuable in all cases, but some of this stuff is just not practical to get employment. So, there's a lot of classes I wonder why they even exist or who the hell funds that. But some of these colleges, they really make you shake your head. But more power to you, I guess. A lot of it's kind of turned into a racket, in my opinion, depending on what you're doing. Obviously, there's some positions there's just no way around it. But there's others that, you may be able to minimize your expense and get a little more hands-on experience and be preferred in the employment place.
Well, I mean, if you get a degree in something that isn't in the area where you want to live, that wasn't a smart idea. If you get a degree in a field that is saturated, that's not a very smart idea. If you get a degree in something that doesn't pay well and then you're stuck with all this student debt, that's not a good idea. A lot of people, when they're young, even when they're older, make bad choices, and I think that's part of the problem is that people think, oh, if I get a college degree, I'm going to have it made. I will get the job, and it will be easy, and I will always have work. And it's like, no, that's not necessarily a guarantee of any of that stuff. It's kind of weird that people around here, when they work at a factory for 30 years and save up enough money to put their kid through college so they're not stuck with that student debt, and their kid goes to college for anything other than, say, a law degree or a doctor or engineering, the person is like, no, you can't do that, and you're not going to make any money at it. Around here, if you go to college and you're not going to college to be an engineer, you're pretty much throwing away your degree. Now, if you take it somewhere else, maybe you can use that. And that's not to say that there aren't people that are social workers or whatnot, but that field is saturated or something like that. So I think maybe kids need to be encouraged, or I don't know. They have those things at school where they have kids go places and see what people do for a living, or have people come in. And I know they've got counselors for college and stuff like that, but I really don't know if they're showing them, hey, this degree pays well, and there's always a demand for it. And this degree doesn't pay well, and there's no demand for it. I don't know if there's anybody telling kids that.
And there's a curve too, because a lot of times by the time you're in high school, they're telling you this is in demand. You get all set up, you line into college, and you start going for something. And by the time you get done, now you got an overwhelming amount of people with the same degree looking for the same positions. And, the next round of kids, now this is in demand. That delay kind of, I think, affects people, more than maybe the system wants to admit or whatever. So, I mean, there's a lot of, everybody wants to be a computer technician, or everybody's doing this, but then it gets to the point where you got, a dime a dozen computer technicians or whatever it is. So sometimes, being different isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just being smart about what you're doing and actually thinking about it, I think. So in some cases, so like I said, some of these degrees, can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but, it just seems, I don't know what place you would actually find employment for that. And then is there another option if that place doesn't work out? I mean, you're really limiting yourself in some cases. So, I don't know. I just, like I said, a lot of my friends, a lot of people I've grown up with, you were supposed to go to college. If you don't go to college, then you ain't never going to be shit. And most of them that have gone to college are in more debt than me. A lot of them that are in bad spots. I mean, I went as well, don't get me wrong. But what I'm stating is they went to like a real college, paid money. But, not stating everybody's in a worse off spot, but they're not all that much better. Most of them aren't doing what they went to school for. Half of them would prefer to do something different, but now they can't really afford to go back. Life's in the way, and they got to get bills paid. So, it's asking a lot, the amount of debt that people put on kids, to jump into college. So I think it's a really serious thing. Try it before you buy it, in my opinion. Try to get into some kind of work program, see if it's really what you're interested in, betting, depending on your degree or depending on what you're going for, how many years of payments on. So just keep that in mind.
And there are lots of free college or trade school programs out there, but that means that you may be obligated to work for the person that's paying for your college. Like where I used to work, you get a bachelor's degree in engineering, and it don't cost you a penny. They pay you $18 an hour to work when you're not at college as an intern. You just don't get the paid holidays and the benefits. And then as soon as you get that bachelor's degree in engineering, you're automatically hired on direct with a full salary, benefits, everything else and you've got 4 years job experience at the company and no student debt. But you've got to work for the company so many years, or else you're obligated to pay them back however many, a portion of the college debt. You've got to sign some sort of legal contract that says you have to work for them, and you may not want to be an engineer. But, I mean, talk about a win-win. You're getting paid to go to college. You got it on-the-job training that they're paying you for and a guaranteed job. And the company I used to work for wasn't the only one doing that. And it's a matter of somebody
do it with pharmacists. So,
well, it's a matter of a younger person saying, okay, I can be a pharmacist, or okay, I could be an engineer, not going, well, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to do that. Don't pay the bills, son.
A lot of the trades are the last place that you can go and get on the job training too. There's a lot. There's corporate jobs that you used to be able to walk off the street and get, and work in a corporate office. There's all kinds of different jobs where you could walk off the street and fill out an application. Now, most of those jobs, you need at least an associate's degree in anything. You just have to have that paper. Where if you're going to be an HVAC guy, there's certain stuff you've got to go to school for, because you've got to learn exactly how it's supposed to be done. If you want to be a carpenter, a framer, a drywall guy, a landscaper, all these other kinds of things, you can walk on the job and learn from the guys or the girls doing the job currently. And if you pay attention and you really try your best, in a couple of years you own your own business.
We're here.
That's sure.
Yeah, I just put it out there in the chat a couple months ago. They had Royal Air here in Kaiser was hiring for on-the-job training for HVAC. They were paying $40,000 to people to come in and do the on-the-job training with them.
My job is, the vast majority of it's drywall work and paint work, interior, residential. And thankfully, the guy who I work for had a good reputation, and we treat our customers nice, and we do good quality work, and we stand behind our work. So we've got a pretty good reputation. We stay busy. Since the Rona hit, I've been with my company busier than we've ever been, and personally doing work on the side busier than I can keep up with. I'm working 7 days a week all year long, the whole 2020, and especially since the Rona hit. You can't turn away work. I turn away personal work. My boss turns away personal work, bids it so high that he can't get it and still gets it anyway. Then we got to fit it in the schedule. Snob said it out there. That kind of trade school, there's always work and demand, always. Now, the state you live in, the construction industry might have taken a big hit. Where the state that I live in, the construction industry's booming.
Yep. And on that note, we're going to have the Kingpin have gotten the last word, because Midnight has sent his links out, so we're going to start wrapping this up. We'll start with Rob. Anything you want to plug, or any words of wisdom you want to leave the audience with?
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Check out people on the panel, subscribe, have a good evening.
Alrighty. What about you, Squibby?
Thanks for the invite. I'm in a foul mood because I had to work tonight for 3 whole hours. Woo. And just doing stuff like coming on to the show sometimes kind of helps get me through those 3 hours. So I do appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. What about you, Kingpin?
Thanks for having me. Go check out the links to Fox's Firearm if you want to join in and sell yourself as a subscriber to him. Then that's fine. He seems like an all right young dude, just trying to have a little bit of fun. And definitely go check out Bald and Curious's 1911 raffle giveaway.
Right on. What about you, Pat?
I just wanted to say thanks for having me on. Just go out there and look at everybody's videos and everything. And everybody get out there and vote. I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but just get out there and vote this year. Going to be pretty important, I think, anyway. And yeah, thanks for having me on, and stay safe and carry your weapon.
Yep, no problem. Always good to have you. Gary, your turn.
Yep, it's important to get out there and vote. Vote early, vote often. You know, as I said.
Vote often. Oh boy.
Spread the word. I mean, let everybody else know. Let somebody know that it's important to vote. Somebody besides somebody who's already got that on their mind. Spread the light a little bit. Make a difference. Don't be afraid to make a difference. That's all I got.
Alrighty. Stacy, anything you want to plug or anything you want to say bad about Snob? This is your chance.
Oh, if I'm going to say anything bad about Snob, we'll be here all night.
And I demand rebuttal time.
No, you don't get any.
One of these days we're going to have to set up a debate between you two.
Which one of them's married to him?
I'm thinking it's David.
Jealous.
Yeah, so jealous. Anyways, thanks for the invite, even though I wasn't here for very long.
Yep, no problem. And with that, we will bid you all adieu and see you next week. And don't forget, Saturdays over on the Outlaw Hatfield's channel, we will have Targeting the Ring, which is the new wrestling podcast that him and I are doing. And eventually we'll have some guests on there with us. I'm not sure who, but you have to tune in and find out at this point. So be sure to check that out. That's Saturdays at 9 Eastern. So we will catch y'all later.
Give him the bird.
Bawoosh.
Don't be a dumbass.
You're on the range.
Don't be Snob.
I agree.